disagreement with you.
For the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.
I recommend that minutes pertaining to collective bargaining, NEA, ESP grievance remain sealed. Actually, that item was tabled.
Those tables, yeah.
I recommend that minutes relating to the privacy of students and their records, approval of home instruction requests remain sealed.
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion and a second to recommend that the minutes relating to the privacy of students and their records remain sealed. Those in favor? Any against? Opposed or recused? Mr. Day, is that a yes?
No.
You're good? Okay, you're all set. Okay, thank you.
I recommend that minutes pertaining to litigation, legal update, Lucy PPA John Lucy et al. Versus Charahoe Regional School District et al. CA number WC 2020-0094 remain sealed.
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Luzon and a second by Mr. Callahan that minutes pertaining to litigation, legal update, Lucy PPA versus Charahoe Regional School District remain sealed. Those in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you so much.
I recommend that minutes pertaining to litigation, legal update, the Robinson Green Beretta Corporation versus the Charahoe Regional School District through its chair, Linda Lyle, CA number PC 2021-06474 remain sealed.
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Luzon, a second by Mr. Callahan, that the minutes pertaining to litigation, legal update, the Robinson Green Beretta Corporation versus Charahoe Regional School District remain sealed. Those in favor? Those opposed? Recusals or abstentions? None. Okay, thank you.
I recommend that minutes regarding the matter of security, all hazard school site safety survey reports, and school security remain sealed.
So moved. Second.
It's been a motion by Mr. Luzon, a second by Mr. Callahan, that minutes regarding the matter of security, all hazard school site safety survey reports and school security remain sealed. Those in favor? Any oppositions, recusal, abstentions? That was unanimous too. Thank you.
I recommend that minutes pertaining to collective bargaining, NEA, ESP negotiation update remain sealed until such time as an agreement has been reached.
So moved.
Second. Okay, there's been a motion by Mr. Callahan, a second by Ms. Juicy, that minutes pertaining to collective bargaining, NEA, ESP negotiation update remain sealed until such time an agreement has been reached. Those in favor? Those against? Recused? Abstention? We have one recusal. Thank you, Mr. Luzon.
I recommend that minutes pertaining to collective bargaining, NEA certified staff negotiation update remain sealed until such time as an agreement has been reached.
So moved.
We had a
Second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Callahan. We had a motion by Ms. Reynolds and a second by Mr. Callahan that the minutes pertaining to collective bargaining, NEA certified staff negotiation update remain sealed until such time as an agreement has been reached. Those in favor? Any nays? Recusals? One recusal? Abstention? Okay, Mr. Day abstains. Thank you all. Okay, so Ms. Juicy, we have disclosure of executive session votes, lots of votes.
Yes, we had 8 votes.
Yep.
First, executive session minutes of May 24th, non-renewal of teacher contracts approved by Abbott, Callahan, Chambers, Day, Juicy, Liguori, Luzon, Lyle, Macaruso, McAllister, Reynolds, and Spears. The next vote were executive session minutes of May 24th, home instruction requests, all approved. Abbott, Callahan, Chambers, Day, Juicy, Liguori, Luzon, Lyle, Macaruso, McAllister, Reynolds, and Spears. The next home instruction requests for tonight, A and B, approved by Abbott, Callahan, Chambers, Day, Juicy, Liguori, Luzon, Lyle, Macaruso, McAllister, Reynolds, and Spears. Home instruction requests for tonight, approved by Abbott, Callahan, Chambers, Day, Juicy, Liguori, Luzon, Lyle, Macaruso, McAllister, Reynolds, Spears recusing. The next vote was, where am I? RGB update, that was unanimous, approved by Abbott, Callahan, Chambers, Day, Juicy, Liguori, Luzon, Lyle, Macaruso, McAllister, Reynolds, and Spears. Executive session minutes, May 24th, NEA ESP negotiation update, approved by Abbott, Callahan, Chambers, Day, Juicy, Liguori, Lyle, Macaruso, McAllister, Reynolds, and Spears. And executive session, May 24th, NEA certified staff update, approved by Abbott, Callahan, Chambers, Juicy, Liguori, Lyle, Macaruso, McAllister, Reynolds, and Spears, and finally to return to open session approved by Abbott, Callahan, Chambers, Juicy, Legori, Lyle, Macaruso, McAllister, Reynolds, and Spears. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Juicy. Okay, recognition.
Please join me in congratulating the following students. Special Olympic Awards, Simon Callan, grade 8, gold medal in the softball throw. Graydon LaJoy, grade 12, gold medal in track 100-meter run and silver medal in track 200-meter run. Joseph Perillo, grade 10, gold medal in 50-meter dash and silver medal in the softball throw. Amelia Cole, grade 10, fourth place in both the softball throw and 100-meter dash.
Yay.
Next, we have our high school 2022 Senior Athletic Awards. The Sportsmanship Award winners were Julia Fortune and Kyle Ackroyd. Scholar Athlete Award winners were Cole Rinney and Anna LaCroix. Athlete of the Year winners were Bella Santos, Grace Abbott, and Nathan Allen. We also we're the middle school softball division champions. Congratulations to the middle school. Our high school postseason awards, girls track, Rico Thompson, shot put, all division first team, all class first team, all state second team, and in discus, all division first team, all class second team, all state third team. Emily Brown, 300 hurdles, freshman state champion, all division second team, all class second team, 4x100, all division second team. Erin Von Husen, the 1500 meter, all division first team, 800 meter, all division third team, 3000 meter, all class second team. Grace Abbott, 4x100, all division second team. Rachel Abbott, 4x100, all division second team. Anna LaCroix, 4x800, all class third team. Catherine Allenson, 4x800, all class third team. Maya Weathers, 4x800, all class third team. Tori Babineau, 4x800, all class third team. Oh, that's it for that.
That's it for the track.
There we go. Girls lacrosse. We have Laurel McIntosh, first time all division. Kaya Elwell, first time all division. Emily Ballard, second team all division. Mia Campbell, second team all division. Megan Ballard, honorable mention. Gabrielle Macaruso, all rookie. Leah Kelvington, sportsmanship award and all academic. Killia Niles, all academic. Brittany Godbout, coach of the year, along with Portsmouth coach Amelia. We have our all-state chorus, Maisie Datson, Abby Fadgen, Violet May, and Christian Sullivan. And a special thanks to Charlestown School Committee Representative Linda McAllister for her service to the Charahoe community. We wish her the best with her future endeavors.
We are now on to public forum. So any persons from the audience who'd like to speak on any matter that's not on the agenda this evening, please come up to the podium, introduce ourselves, and speak.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zoe Legori-Bills, and I am here today to talk about the recent cut in teachers. I know this decision has already been made, and we regret the fact that we did not come to the last school committee meeting to stand up against this change. However, the thought of cutting 2 of our beloved faculty members rather than not granting our teachers a raise never even crossed our minds. Taking Spanish away from our elementary schools makes it so we are also cutting our K-12 program. The children who will no longer be starting their Spanish exposure at 5 or 6 will have a harder time becoming fluent, and their education will be set back as a result of going into middle school with little to no experience with the language, never mind the culture. So please, listen to us as we plead with you to take into consideration what effects this will have on our schools, and think about what changes you are capable of making to make Charahoe a better learning environment for its students. Now, before I go, I would like to leave you with a small twist to a famous Harry Potter quote. You will find that I will only truly have left this school when none here remember me. This does not only apply to our teachers, but also to the Spanish program itself. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Donna Wedge, and I'm from Enrich, Rhode Island. I'm an advocate with our homeschool group, and we just wanted to thank you for the support that we experienced while you were revising the homeschool policy. We think it's a really positive policy, and we appreciate all the work you guys did on it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's Jill and Gina's work. That's all right, but what are we gonna do? Hello.
Superintendent Picard and council members. My name is Robert George. I'm a parent here. My children have been in the Charahoe school system since Hope Valley Elementary. My son graduated. My daughter is the vice president of the 8th grade here and is graduating and going to high school next year. My daughter's been taking Spanish since Hope Valley Elementary. And I was just informed today that there was going to be cuts to the Spanish program. As we all know, the single biggest language group in the United States next to English is Spanish. I come from a Hispanic heritage, and having grown up knowing Spanish as an adult has helped me more than any other single skill except for maybe math, which is, we all know how important math is. Being able to communicate with people that come into our country, come into our community from all over the world on their level has been critical. It's been critical for me in my social life. It's been absolutely critical for me in my professional life, being able to communicate with people in the music industry where I work. I just can't see that cutting a language, a critical language skill from an elementary school program, that there's not some other way that we could handle a shortfall in the budget. It's, as the previous speaker so eloquently pointed out, it's going to put kids way behind if they have to try to start a language in high school. And I know most of you know that from your own personal education when you were growing up, whether it was French or Italian, German, whatever. If you start at a certain age, we know scientifically that children are more able to open up pathways in the brain to take on a second language. If you wait until they're in high school, by that time, not only has the ship sailed, on a neurological level, but, we know most kids these days in high school, it's all about, what's going on the phone. So we're missing a huge opportunity here. Charahoe has been a fantastic school system for both my kids. Everybody that I know that's been to Charahoe has said the same thing. It's really the best school system. I know a lot Barrington thinks they are, but Charahoe really is the best school system in the state. And I think that we really just are cutting ourselves short by, eliminating Spanish at any level. And I hope that there's some recourse where you can reconsider either how to get a budget from the state, maybe get a federal grant, anything other than cutting our Spanish program. I think that that's just a huge mistake, and I hope you will consider some other option. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Goldie Williams, Richmond. I was wondering if you're going to make the students wear masks when they come back in the fall, because you've been in violation of the American with Disabilities Act for some of the students.
Right now, there's no.
We have a policy that says it's not required, but if it's up to the individuals, unless they have had COVID, and if they want to come back early, they wear the mask 6 to 10 days, or they do the full isolation.
Muscular, deaf, blind, autism, depression, anxiety, PTSD, claustrophobia, muscular, MS, CP, and other disabilities and ADHD and other disabilities and some learning difficulties and mental MR or mentally challenged are on the list of not having to wear a mask.
We do have medical exemptions, that's correct.
And
We don't
respiratory
require
and
masks
heart.
at this time.
And respiratory and heart. Also, I wanted to address the language thing. My son learn German in high school with a program. So they can learn it. And my son just taught himself Russian in college. So you can learn a language. Like, I just want to make that remark.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Elaine Ritchie, and I live in Charlestown, and I have a student in the middle school and the high school. I just wanted to just touch base on just the recent news coverage on Channel 10. I'm sure you're aware of it, regarding the pride flag that was in a classroom and was taken down. I understand I'm hoping it's not the school's intentions on the comments that were made on that news conference. I feel the comment could have been just left as it's a school policy to only have the Rhode Island and the American flag present, and that could have been it. But there was an additional comment stating that our classroom and school environment must remain neutral and focused on our curriculum. And I don't believe the statement was meant to be hurtful, but I just want you to be aware that it was hurtful. Our country and our school is a melting pot of all races, nationality, religions, LGBT. Everybody is different. And I feel like our school embraces that. I truly, really do. But this comment that was made, never did it state that we support our LGBT community. And by the statement of we want to remain neutral, sounds like we're saying we don't want to make waves with what's going on in the world today. And this is not a political issue. This is a human rights and equality issue. And since then, I know there's been support from all students and teachers, which I'm very proud of. And I know there was an email that went out of concern of students walking out, which didn't happen, which is a good thing. But even in that email, there was no mention of we support our LGBT community. But the LGBT communities, what they're seeing from this is they're not supported and they're not accepted. So I just wanted you to be aware of just kind of words and how we say things. And it might go a long way. This is Pride Month. I have a child that's a part of the LGBT community, and it saddens me that we need a month to accept and show that love is love. It saddens me that we need to have a Black History Month. It saddens me that we can all not just be accepted for who we are. And I truly feel our community does accept our students, but I feel like it might be a nice thing to go a long way just to somehow state to our students in our community that we support all students. And this happens to be Pride Month, and we want to share the love just like our State House is, supporting rainbow colors. So thank you. And I know it wasn't intentional, and I truly feel that we are supported and our students are supported, but just
No,
wanted to
I
make
just
that
want to say,
comment.
I appreciate the feedback. We did meet with students. We're actually meeting monthly, have ongoing conversations, because this is not something you fix in an email. And words, you're right. Sometimes that's why I actually prefer to call people on the phone and have
I agree.
conversations, because they can be taken in different ways, and it's not the intent.
Yes.
What we want all our kids to know is that they're safe, that they're heard, that they're seen, that they're valued, that they're respected, and that we treat each other with kindness. So overall, I had a great meeting on Monday morning where we expressed about how you advocate, how can you be heard, how do policies get written. We talked to the students that, sometimes I make recommendations and people say no, and there's legislators out there that try to pass laws that don't get passed, that they really truly believe in. But that conversation with the students, I was proud.
When was that conversation?
It was Monday morning.
With all the students?
Not all. We had a group of leaders that came forward with us.
Okay.
Probably about 5 students.
Those 5 students didn't pass that along to your community as of yet. So
Miss Boz and I have going to. It's a lot, and I don't think she's here too. There's a larger town halls. We're going to meet in July, and then over the summer to really have this conversation to build this this work. This is not a check the box, let's have a meeting. This is going to be ongoing, probably after your children graduate and so on and so forth.
well, hopefully it doesn't take that long for our students now to feel accepted. And I know we have programs in place and safety in place, but right now it was publicly made to feel like we don't want to make waves in this community. So we're going to stay neutral, which means when you say that means is something bad, is something good, and that's what they're feeling. So I think maybe before then, announcement over the intercom. I don't know, like, I don't know, but
No, and I
I'm
think
not on the
our
board.
goal
I'm
is to make
just
sure that
here to make
all of our
comments.
kids feel supported.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Goldie, do you have something quick? Yes. Okay, thank you.
She was mentioning for Pride Month. What about Mental Health Awareness Month? Was there anything announced for that? And for the Holocaust Awareness Month?
Okay, thank you very much. We get your point. Thank you all, and we'll move on to policy. Thank you.
So the first policy for review is the home instruction policy revision. This item was tabled at the last meeting, and I do recommend approval of the revised home instruction policy, which has been reviewed by legal counsel.
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion by Ms. Luzon, a second by Mr. Callahan to approve the revised home instruction policy, which now I can open this up for discussion. Anyone have any comments or questions or? No? Okay. And we appreciate the comment by the lady in the audience. Thank you very much. So I guess I can take this to a vote. Those in favor of the policy? I'm sorry.
Make a motion.
Yeah, they all made
Okay.
motions. Yeah, they did. It's okay. Those in favor, sorry. Gina's asked me if there's a motion.
See how good we are,
Okay, I
Gina.
know. Anyone
good.
opposed? Recusal or abstention? Nope, that was unanimous. Thank you so much. Next one is a secondary.
The next item on the agenda is secondary grading policy revision. This item was tabled at the last meeting, and I do recommend approval of the revised secondary grading policy.
So moved. Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Luzon, a second by Mr. Callahan to approve the revised secondary grading policy.
I just actually have one clarification, and I believe Ms. Paz asked me to make sure on page 3 of 5,
3 or 5.
where it says reassessments. The addition they would like to make was for that first sentence, for the learning assignment, reassessment opportunities may versus the word will. So they want to change may to will be provided. In
Yeah.
case a student does not want to participate.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking for clarification.
Yeah, I would
So
too.
is it that it won't?
It won't be forced upon them.
offered to all students, but
That,
they
Ms.
have-
Paz, if you just want to come to the mic, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Maybe use the word offer.
Yeah, because I,
Yeah, my understanding is the change from may will be provided is that it's not forced upon any students, that they have the opportunity.
yeah, it's about giving student choice opportunity. Perfect. Total agreement. I just didn't want it to be something that wasn't going to be offered.
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know who, Donna and then Mr. Callahan. Okay, Donna. Ms. Chambers?
Yes. On page, let me see, page 3 of the 5, under grades 9 through 12, was it intentional to leave out the rating being meets and does not meet, as opposed to meets, approach and does not meet? In other words, there's not 3 levels of,
Yep, that's correct. At the high school, we are meets and does not meet solely
Or for the learner.
so it's.
for the learner
pass-fail.
qualities.
Oh,
I'm
for the
assuming
learner
you're talking
qualities.
about learner qualities.
Yes,
Yep,
that's what I'm talking about.
yep, that's correct.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Meets and does not meet. Mr. Callahan?
Thank you, Chair. I make a motion to amend the policy on page 3 and 5 to remove the word will and replace it with may.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Juicy. There's been a motion by Mr. Callahan, a second by Ms. Juicy, to amend the policy to, on page 3 of 5, in the reassessments paragraph, first sentence, the word will be replaced by may be provided. Any other discussion on that? Questions? Those in favor? And that's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Callahan, for that. Now we can move on to other questions.
Do you think I should ask?
I think you should ask him. You called me to ask me about it, so
So,
you
so,
should
so
ask him.
Gina, quick question.
Well, ask Andrew.
In F,
What page you on? F?
4, 5, and F.
Yep.
Why is it from 50 to 69? Why is it not from 0 to 69?
So there's actually research around the focus of 0. So it's starting at 50, it actually can create, so for example, I give you a driver's test and you get a 0. And then the next time you come, you get 100. And if I average that, you average a 50. So you still fail, even though you just showed me proficiency on your next attempt.
Oh.
So that's a,
Do you think somebody could argue this in the future? Because I got
there's a lot of
49.
research around the fact that why the
Okay,
zero is
I'm
not necessarily
I just think it's kind
the
of.
best. You want, Karen?
The 50 gives a student a better chance of being successful. So if they stumble and they fall and
It's a recovery.
it makes it easier for them to recover.
Well, thank you very much.
So
No, you want
it's
it.
better for the student.
It's in the
That's
favor.
exactly it.
Zero.
It's
Gives
gotta
them
be
a
better
chance
for
to
the
recover.
It's in the favor of the student.
All hope isn't lost.
Well, I'm not a teacher.
Any other questions on the grading policy? No.
I can see somebody arguing.
Well, I'm going to take this to a vote. Those in favor?
As amended?
As amendment, thank you, sir. Okay, and that's unanimous. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ms. Vaz. And Ms.
Thank you. So first business item is a field trip request that we brought to you the last meeting. I did speak with legal counsel regarding your questions. He did review this request and does not see a concern. I believe we have,
Mr. Off is back there
oh, there we
somewhere.
have Mr. Off, there he is. Is Chelsea here as well, Mr. Off? No, okay. What they are here to discuss that they would hope that the committee approves this. I do recommend approval of the following contingent upon compliance with the policy. The idea is that not only does it enhance the program to have the adults available to be able to attend and to network and find out what's happening across the nation, but it also provides support. And while actually we did communicate with some of the colleges who do say they do send chaperones with even college level students in cases such as this. It's not a requirement, as you asked, so just so you know, the FFA doesn't require that a chaperone attend, but it is the district, and I don't know if you recall, when we did Skills USA, there were seniors on that trip as well that have graduated and will be attending next week. So the teachers felt that it was important to put back this the exact way they presented it and hoping for your approval, but I have, John's here if you have legal questions. And the word chaperone, just so you know, is part of the form. That's why we use the word chaperone.
So was that your suggestion?
That my
Yeah,
suggestion is
this
to
is to
approve the
approve it.
request as submitted.
Okay, there's been-
Second.
Thank you. There's been a motion by Mr. Luzon and a second by Mr. Callahan to approve the revised home instruction policy, which has been reviewed by legal counsel. So now we can open up to questions or any other concerns that maybe needs clarifications from the last meeting. Yes.
Just a
Gary?
comment,
Sure.
really. So I was one of the people who raised a concern, and it wasn't so much having people there, adults there, I guess they're all technically adults, teachers there. It was just more the language about, and liability, right? So, 'cause since they're not enrolled in school, how does the liability work? But if legal has approved it, I'm fine with that.
John, legal has approved.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions or concerns? Well, I'll take this to a vote. So those in favor of this, the new approval? Thank you. And that looks like that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, our next item is the RIDE Memorandum of Agreement for the Art Reengages Talent in All Students initiative of the School Building Authority Capital Fund. I do recommend approval with all school committee members required to sign if approved.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the school committee, the agreement I guess we all have to sign this memorandum of agreement for the Art Reengages Talent in All Students initiative of the SBA Capital Fund. There's been a motion and a second, so I'll open this up to discussion. Yes, Mr. Day.
It says here that going to be used for eligible expenses occurs between July and June of next year. Do we know what these eligible expenses are?
So we actually have a meeting set up, but one of the things that both the middle school and high school have asked me about are the auditorium upgrades. So that would be the focus. It's a shared space that's used often that needs a little bit of a lift.
Well, my experience with the state of Rhode Island is not very favorable. So I want to make sure that we don't fall behind in their thinking of what's eligible and what isn't eligible.
Yeah, we actually did some research and we think what we're going to propose around the auditorium should be fine.
Because it's a performing arts facility or
Right,
center.
and we use it for space, multi-purpose space around our awards nights, events from the National Honor Societies, et cetera.
Good question. Okay, any other questions? Yes, Mrs. Macaruso.
So, and I think you'll be having this conversation, so this question is probably part of that, but we've recently received concern that the band, or opportunities for music in the high school, have also been impacted. Could these funds possibly support, bringing those programs back as well? Is that considered arts, or is it meant to be
So
more
we are
visual?
working on the programming. The problem at the high school is that we don't have interest right now. So we're working to build it at the middle school. And, it's not where it was pre-COVID, but it's starting to get better. So the idea is that we do have equipment for the middle school and the high school, but right now we're looking to ensure that we have that interest. We have a good core of students at the high school for chorus, but we're building both programs at the middle school with the idea that these spaces would be utilized for those concerts as well. So the high school didn't remove it because they don't want it. It was removed because there's a lack of interest. So we know that we have to build interest. And so some of the things that Mr. Zenian is working on with the adults at the middle school is concerts now that we can get out of COVID, bring the elementary school students to us, go to them, and encourage the programming opportunities.
I think that's a really important clarification. Great, thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay, I'll take that to a vote. Those in favor of signing this memorandum? Anyone against, recused, or abstained? No, so that was unanimous. Ryan hadn't said that. Okay. Donna's going to bring it over to Ryan and then we'll pass it around. Thank you all.
Our next item is the Consolidated Resource Plan. We recommend approval to submit the CRP, which includes Title I, Title II, Title IV, and IDEA. Dr. Camella will be available for questions. As is typical, I have included the budget pages. If you are interested in the grant backup at any time, please let us know and we can get that to you.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Juicy. There's been a motion by Mr. Luzon, a second by Ms. Juicy to approve the approval to submit the CRP plan. And I guess I'll open this up to discussion or questions. So I have a question if I guess I might call it. Is this the monies that we're given back for special services in like IDEA, title?
Part of it.
Part of it.
The IDEA part of it. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
for the middle school, for the title programs at the middle school.
Okay, okay. And so I'm seeing, Ned, that are we over budgeted? Because when it says under budgeted, that means that that's monies that we paid, there's a little bit, we spent a little bit more than we got back is what I'm saying. No?
So
Is that different? I want to.
title works, sometimes we can hold money and use it for next year, and other
Okay.
times we can.
Oh, so unbudgeted means money that has not been spent yet.
Correct.
Okay,
It's
I
not
missed, I
assigned-
reread it.
it's not
I
assigned
read
on a
it
specific
incorrectly.
line.
Okay, good.
That's
Thank you.
carried over.
Okay, it's carried over. Okay, thanks. Any other questions on that? This is out of work. Okay, well, I'll take it to a vote. Those in favor to approve the submission of the CRP? Thank you. Anyone opposed? No, you're good? Okay, so that was unanimous too. Thank you very much.
The next item is the Champlin Grant, the Next Gen STEM, building networks for middle school students interested in pursuing STEM pathways and careers. You may have found this familiar. We actually used this proposal and there were some revisions to it around the Honda grant that Honda no longer had when we did it last summer. So we revised it, Katie and the middle school team, to rework it so that I do recommend approval to submit the Next Gen STEM building networks for middle school students interested in pursuing STEM pathways and careers to the Champlin Foundation in the amount of $85,742.85. And Katie is here to answer any questions.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you. There's been a motion by Mr. Callahan, a second by Ms. Juicy to approve the submission of the Next Gen STEM building networks for middle school students to the Champlin Foundation, in the amount of $85,742.85. So I open this up to discussion and or questions. Katie's here for any questions or answers. Is this a viable proposal? I mean, this is a grant we hope to get, is what we're.
Yes.
Yes, but the Champlin Foundation, they're open to it.
Yes, it follows all their stipulations
Okay,
for
good.
funding.
Right.
And the cap for funding is up to 100,000.
Okay.
So I think we have a modest
good.
proposal, but feasible one based on the needs of the room.
And so this is a one-time spend because it's just an upgrade of the room.
Yes,
So the
it's
grant
for
will be used,
renovations
right.
and some STEM-related
Okay.
school supplies
Okay, thank
for
you.
the room.
Okay, thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay, well, I'll take that to a vote. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Callahan.
So, yeah, Katie, I went to this is anecdotal, so correct me if I got it wrong. I went to the award ceremony. It was awesome. And it looked like those faculty who were presenting awards, especially in the math and sciences, the recipients that dominated it were female.
He's going to put this up to me.
So so I'm curious on two things. How much are we dropping off from middle school into high school, and how have you quantified that? And then, predominantly that, because from what I saw from the award ceremony, it looked like girls were
Holding their own.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay, girls. Yay,
I can certainly bring up a colleague, but I will say that for those who haven't read the full proposal, we talked about a rough 45-55 split for male students versus females in STEM 6, 7, and 8. But then what we see, and my colleague, Ms. Scanapieko, can add to that as well. My understanding is that then how they explore the terrain moving into high school goes into certain areas versus others that are less STEM focused in some of the high interest, high impact STEM fields.
Hi, my name is Susie Scanpico. I'm the STEM specialist. I just wanted to clarify, we actually do a lot of research around that data and what we're seeing globally. I would not say at Charahoe. I'm not going to speak specific to data that I don't have in front of me, but basically up until 8th grade, we keep things here at Charahoe very equitable. Everyone gets the same experiences. At the high school level, in the STEM fields, we see a very quick divide between the life sciences and the physical sciences and also the computer sciences. So we actually have very heavy female numbers in AP biology, in anatomy and physiology, in those sorts of classes, often linked with health. And all those words I paid attention to were very health related and in medical fields, while computer science, physics, engineering, we still see a male dominance here and globally.
In terms of percentage of students involved in it?
Participating, enrolling in those classes, male versus female, yes. So it's like STEM being split down the middle, almost like life sciences and medical field sciences versus engineering and computer sciences. We're still seeing a drop off there. And this room definitely is more geared toward the engineering piece with computer science, maybe filtered in a bit with like the laser cutters and things like that. That would be the field we're still working on.
Thank you.
So just to add to what she was saying, a big focus here would be to make sure that we're supporting what the successes that we do have and also supporting the futures that we want to see for all of our students. And this would be a big focus of this grant if it was received.
Any other questions? Good. Okay, so I'm going to take this to a vote to approve the submission of the Next Gen STEM Building Networks for Middle School Students to the Champlain Foundation for the amount of $85,742.85. Those in favor? And that's unanimous. Thank you so much.
The next item is the high school math quarter one curriculum. Susie Scampieko will be in attendance and provide an update. Dr. Carmelo is also here for any questions. I do recommend approval of the high school math quarter one curriculum.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Luzon, a second by Mr. Callahan to approve the high school math quarter one curriculum. Now, do we want to do presentations first, obviously, and then we'll open up for discussion. So thank you.
Hello again. I'm Susie Scanpieko. I'm here to present the high school math curriculum. Just as a reminder that the reason it is quarter one only is because we have just recently updated our curriculum documents, materials, and we need to have documents in place that show the curriculum we're teaching as of September. So I will explain a little bit more about that moving forward. So I just want to quickly thank my team. The team was excellent. They all really were valuable to the product. They all had different contributions. James Bailey, Courtney Dagliari, Rachel Franklin, Allison Manning, Robert Main, Bob Main in our world, Lori Scungio, and Christina Sparvin. You have all received this presentation, therefore you've also received the links to the 3 different documents. I'm just going to target just a couple of things that we want to highlight and recognize that they are now the new documents that match the middle school curriculum that already was approved by school committee. So we kept to the same format. Note that in high school, of course, we're 90-minute every other day, so you're going to notice a lot of 0.5 days, and that's because we're hoping to teach 2 lessons in one 90-minute session to keep on pace with schools that go at a 45-minute schedule. And notice that if anyone did the math and it wasn't calculating to the total number of days with the number of days in the chart, it's because that top number indicates quizzes and tests, including the instructional days, and the ones on the side are only the instructional days. The major themes are the main concepts that are going to be taught throughout the lesson. The content to be learned is more specific skills that the students are going to learn. And essential questions, I think I've said before, in our world, that means you can't Google the answer. It's a more theoretic question. It's a little bit broader. And the idea is that it's something to think about for a while within that unit. The focus standards are the ones that we are going to, it doesn't mean we don't do the others. It just means that's the focus of the unit. And the math practices, as you've heard me say before, are spanning K to 12. It's the idea of keeping a consistent way of thinking about math from kindergarten through high school so that we're all speaking the same language around math, like making sense of problems and persevering in solving them, modeling with mathematics, looking for and making use of structure. Those are things that we're going to be utilizing K to 12. On this page, what you'll see is that we also add a link to that standard. And what that does is it allows the teacher or whomever's looking at the document to see what was learned just before and just after this standard is being taught. So what might have been taught just last year and what's about to come, and why that standard is so important to their vertical articulation. And this is a site we've again utilized in the middle school curriculum as well. The calendars, one of the things that we're really trying to do with the brand new implementation is all stay on pace, making sure that we're all sticking to at least a really good intention on the pacing. Obviously, new curricula, new materials, it's going to take a little while to get everything up and running. But that I can say that this has happened for many, many years where we started with universally designed exams and tests. I can say that our teams are already quite used to that. They all stay on pace. They really do work toward it. I'm sure the whole thing will shift a day or two here and there as we're working with the new curriculum. But the fact that we do have calendars already pre-prepared with that idea in place, I'm really confident we're going to try to stay on pace. What will look like, because we're only presenting Q1 tonight, and that the reason is because we have the new materials, we do want to start in September. We will be simultaneously writing Q2, 3, and 4, so that we will present those to you before Q2. And then we will be here again. If there's any questions, please feel free.
When do you plan to do 2, 3, and 4?
Well, all of Q1, a whole team will get,
Yeah.
and maybe the same team, maybe some new people,
Sure.
maybe some will, not join the team, but the team did a really great job of pulling this one together. They're really efficient and know how to get the job done in a short amount of time. While also we have a couple of things that team is doing, like considering alternative, something that we've thought about and have the students and teachers have brought forward is considering like changing the order of those algebra, geometry, and algebra 2 to be geometry, algebra 1, algebra 2. There's some districts, we know of a few in Connecticut that do it that way. So the team is also investigating other things that might be of, good for our SAT scores, things like that. So the team is doing more than just creating this document. We also have to bring forward all the other elective math classes. This is just the first 3 years of school without the electives. So the whole math curriculum will be being done at that time too.
Big undertaking. Okay, and no more questions? I'll take this yeah, very good job. Thank you so much. So we're here to approve the high school math Q1 curriculum. Those in favor? Okay, and that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you to your team.
The next item we have is the library media curriculum revision. Dana Hall is in attendance to provide an update, and Dr. Camilla is also here for any questions. I do recommend approval of the revisions to the library media curriculum.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion by Mr. Luzon, a second by Mr. Callahan to approve the library medium curriculum, the approval of the revisions made to the curriculum. Hello. We get another presentation.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Dana. Yeah. Thank you for being here.
I'm going to be sharing the proposed curriculum and updates for the grades K through 12 library media curriculum tonight. First, I want to take a moment to thank the students, teachers, and community members who served on the District Curriculum Planning Committee for their thoughtful feedback throughout this process. And most importantly, I'd like to thank the District Library and Media Specialist who served both as researchers and writers on the curriculum task force and represented various grade levels: Sarah DeVito, Mary Manning, Allison Ward, and Cynthia Skelton. So before we begin, I just wanted to provide a little background regarding our revision process, which began earlier this year. Our current library curriculum was approved pre-COVID in 2017 and was aligned to the Rhode Island School Librarian curriculum. And we reviewed and chose to adopt the most current Rhode Island School Librarian curriculum. So RISL, which is it's often referred to, is aligned and informed by the American Association of School Librarians. Our high school curriculum was already aligned to the RISL curriculum, so now there is a simplified vertical articulation of standards or knowledge and skills to be taught from grades K through 12. The task force felt that the curriculum continues to address changes in the information and learning environment, and it's rooted in the cycle of inquiry and learning. And as illustrated in this graphic, the cycle of inquiry and learning allows learners to progress through a series of phases while recognizes that they may move backward or even repeat a cycle. There are aspects of reflection that we really like, and but the cycles do contain a specific phase dedicated to reflection throughout this. And each phase asks learners to engage with specific processes, which may require the development of specific skills or strategies. And we also liked how this model really reflects our learner qualities as well. And a lot of pieces support a senior project that we're going to be doing as well. So, you know, it just aligns nicely to everything we do here. Our proposed updates and revisions are reflected in the information literacy library media curriculum. Additions are highlighted in yellow and deletions are noted by a strike through on this draft document that's linked. The library media curriculum is skills-based and almost the same as before. However, it's been simplified to communicate the skills and knowledge students need to succeed in all of their classes. The curriculum provides a clear continuum of library media skills for students in grades K through 12. And these skills may be taught independently by the school librarian or in collaboration with a classroom teacher. For example, an elementary school librarian might teach these skills in a library class, while a high school librarian might teach these skills in collaboration with an English or social studies teacher. I do teach AP literature at the high school, and I collaborate on the literary research paper with our librarians. So depending on the grade level, this looks a little bit different. Each of the 4 anchor standards, along with their respective standards, span grades K through 12. Prior skills for each standard are organized by grade level groups. We often refer to these as grade spans, and these include grades K through 2nd grade, 3rd through 5th, 6th through 8th, and 9th through 12th. I know that Susie just went through some of these content and skills, like as far as organizational structure is concerned, but I'm just going to go through them quickly because they are a little different with the library media curriculum. There are 4 anchor standards, and they identify the general knowledge and skills that students will demonstrate. And then there are also essential questions. These are located on page 11, and they serve as overarching or topical questions that guide instruction. There are standards that are specific knowledge and skills that students will demonstrate. And then you'll see on the screenshot of page 12, it shows the anchor standard. But there also shows, there's an anchor standard for inquiry and design, standard 1.1 for kindergarten through 2nd grade, and those K through grade 2 or 2nd grade priority skills. And those are what we refer to as the priority skills. Those are grade level knowledge and skills that are explicitly taught and assessed. Priority skills for standards change and build on each other through the grades. As you can see in this example, I just tried to pull like one anchor standard so you could see how the anchor standard focuses on inquiry and design in this particular example, design thinking. And then 1.1 focuses on using the inquiry process to connect to prior experience and background knowledge. And then you can see an example of how the priority skills are more specific and show what the standard looks like at each grade level. And the grade level priority skills that fall under the heading or topic, in this case it's connect, are more developmentally appropriate. So I think I pulled K2 and 9 through 12 to give you an idea. We also have a year at glance that ensures that all the year at a glance ensures that all standards are taught by trimester or quarter at the grade level. This year at a glance document shows when these standards are taught by or independently by a librarian, or like I said before, in collaboration with other teachers within pre-existing tasks such as the high school argument paper or research paper, as illustrated in this grade 12 screenshot. The standards and skills are being taught have been identified, and librarians can determine what tools will best apply based on desired outcomes, grade level curriculum, in collaborative lessons, etc. And you'll see that we also identified cross-curricular standards for Common Core English language and literacy standards, and International Society for Technology and Education standards. Those are also known as ISTE standards, but because a lot of this collaboration is with the computer science teachers as well, especially at the middle school level. The task force made the decision to remove any mention of state or national reading lists or initiatives so that we are not committing to a particular organization or association. The task force also decided to remove any reference to specific apps such as Google searching, so that we don't have to revise this. Things change so rapidly. And again, library skills can be taught in so many ways, which makes it unnecessary to identify specific organizations, book lists, apps, websites, etc. And then we updated our resources page. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. I also have a few colleagues on standby. If I can't answer them, they hopefully will help me out.
Thank you, Dan. You have any questions? No. Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa. Ms. Macruso, you have the floor.
Hi, Dan. Thank you so much for this presentation. So looking at the model of inquiry, right, so I kind of want to go to that space. Information literacy is as critical to our students' safety as any other measure that we take as a campus to keep our children safe. And so I really appreciate the curriculum around investigation, construction of new knowledge, and expression of the new knowledge, especially how it challenges the idea of what your previous knowledge is, the background that you're coming from, and trying to adopt and adapt new information into what you know. That's what your cycle is. Can you tell us a little bit about how you actually might instruct this with the students? What might a lesson look like? How might this be delivered from the curriculum to our students that helps them move this forward, this idea of not being stuck in a cycle of knowledge, but being able to expand their thinking, move forward. I know it's here, and I know you're going to do it really well, but I'd love us to hear how we move our students out of those echo chambers.
And I'll let Sarah speak to that. Mary Manning, who's a high school library media specialist, isn't here tonight, but she can speak to what it looks like at the middle school level.
Yes, both would be fine. Thank you.
Sarah DeVito. I'm the, sorry, very short. I'm the middle school librarian, as Dana said. This model here really ties in nicely with the Highly Capable program, which is a program that goes from K to 8. And not to say that that's the only place we use it, but it really fits in nicely with that. And that is basically a research program. Actually, a couple of my students are here right now who are in it. And it's a great program that allows kids to dig deeper into something that interests them. So they're able to take something that they have, maybe a little bit of interest in and learn new stuff about it. So like you're saying, they can take what they know and, expand on it and go through this whole entire process. And like Dana mentioned, sometimes they'll go back, and they'll reevaluate and things like that. So that's kind of the first thing that comes to mind. Again, not to say that that's the only place we use it, but that's certainly one of the more prominent examples.
Yeah, that's an excellent example. Given that the Highly Capable program is by recommendation only, can you just speak a little bit more to how all